Yes, I love technology, but not as much as you see. But I still love technology.
This is a PI Advice Podcast.
Yeah, boy.
What's up, everybody? This is Andrew with the Private Investigator Advice Podcast, the 51st episode. What is up? I have been brainstorming like crazy on different topics and just creating value, just value. And I don't want to, I want to do fun stuff. I want to do Tech Tuesday and talk about news and whatnot. But I still want to provide value. Otherwise, why would you want to listen? Why would you want to visit the website and watch the videos or read into the articles? Well, I wouldn't. If I wasn't getting anything out of it, then I'd be wasting my time, other than just tuning into some guy talking about PI stuff every now and then. So that's what I'm focused on a lot of right now. I mean, I just making sure that I'm addressing topics that that new private investigators, existing private investigators, what have you, are going to want to read about or listen about or learn about, for that matter. So anyways, that's just what's been on my mind. If you guys got topics, keep sending them to me. I will continue to try to add them into the show or the podcast or the videos or whatever. I'll try to get them in there. So a couple things. I'm just going to share a few things today. It's not going to be a huge podcast. I've got some other podcasts I want to go over, hopefully this week, if I have time. So this one doesn't have to be huge, right? Right. Anyways, I came across this thing called the Pocket Printer. And it's a Kickstarter campaign that happened with... I probably should pull out my notes here. I think it was these college guys, but they ended up making this company called Zuta Labs. And so this printer here, which I should have over here, is going to be like no bigger. I'm assuming the way it looked in the pictures, no bigger than like your fist. And instead of, usually in traditional printers where you feed the paper through a machine that has to be basically a certain dimension to fit the paper in so it can print out, this one is going to print on top of the paper, which is thinking out of the box, I guess. And what also is you can kind of take this thing anywhere. It's not going to be a plug in the wall. It's going to run off of the lithium polymer batteries. The only reason I know what they are is because, you're seeing them more and more in things now. But I first heard about them when I was racing RC cars, and they came out with these batteries that lasted 30 minutes. And I was like, what? That's amazing. So it runs off these batteries. The ink is supposed to last 1,000 print jobs. 1,000 pages of printing. They also say the battery in that thing's going to last an hour. So I guess that means you get 60 pages of printing before you have to charge up the battery. It's going to be printed through a USB cable or a micro USB cable. And what else is here? I think they're going to be selling it for about $200. Now, it's still on a Kickstarter campaign. I'll link to it in the show notes. I'm a little behind on those, but look for them. It'll be in there. And I don't know, for a private investigator, I knew of a private investigator that had a really small printer in his car. And I think he primarily used it to print out like pretext material. If he's going to go pretext a neighbor, maybe it was a missing person or lost dog or whatever, but he would be able to put together this paper with some flyers, and he could play out the pretext because he could just print it out. Like you don't always know what you're going to need, and you don't always know what your pretext is going to need to be or how intrusive, I guess. I don't know what the right word is, where you might have to write something specific to play along with the story to get the information you need. Anyways, so that's what he used it for. I could see this for those who, you visit your client. A lot of these people who do like domestic and like non-insurance type, and non-lawyer type cases where you're just meeting up with the general public. They want to find somebody, or they want to hire you for something specific. Well, how often do you have to? I mean, you need to print up a contract for these people. I mean, you could have one pre-printed, and you could fill in the blanks, I guess, on some of those contracts. But how nice would it be to be able to have your computer there, type in the specifics of the case you're working, whether what the case is going to be about, what your expectations are, and what the billable rate's going to be, and all the other specifics you have in your contract, and you can just print it out right there in front of them, have them sign it, and you seal the deal. That'd be pretty nice. So that's what I would envision it for. I don't know when it's going to hit the mass market. They had a deal where if you got in early, you got it for $180. But I think when they go full stream, it's going to be about $200. Which, if it does what it says it does, and it's reliable, then I think $200 will be worth it big time. Especially for those of you who do a lot of those in-person meetings, in a Starbucks with your clients or whatever, where you don't have a printer right there. If you don't have a home office or an office that they can go to. The next thing is I read this. Where did I read this? Of course, I don't have the thing in front of me. Anyway, I read it, and I'll post where I read it. Anyways, the FBI wants 52 million photos in its face recognition database by 2015. Just on the surface of this, just the title alone kind of, of course, I mean, anything with face recognition, it's kind of, you want to know a little bit more about it, but 52 million photos is quite a bit of photos. So I read into it. Now, I'm not going to read verbatim what this article said, but I'm going to read some of the highlights, and some of the stuff kind of worried me a little bit. I mean, it's something to be concerned about. I always think of the overreach of government and the overreach of information. And listen, information is great. We want to, as private investigators, that's what we make our living on, is gathering information. But sometimes the way we gather it, I don't know. I just don't agree with, not us, but just the gathering of information in general kind of concerns me. Anyways, it says the information on the next generation identification system or database, which is the FBI's biometric database that holds records on approximately a third of the United States population. That alone is kind of scary. But with that being said, apparently this NGI was basically previously like for fingerprints, palm prints, stuff that was pretty normal in the background, when you got a background check for employment or whatever. These are the kind of things you would do already. Not a big deal. But the FBI is building upon this NGI database, which is going to have iris scans and facial recognition data, and then it's going to link it up with your name, your address, your race, your age, things of that nature. Of course, I don't have this program in front of me, so this is what it's basically what the report said, the news report. And traditionally, in a lot of their databases, it would be criminal records only that they would do, and now they're going to combine non-criminal records or information, so your face, your fingerprints, and they're going to combine them all together. And so when they search for someone like with facial recognition software, and they're searching for somebody, your face is going to be in the mix of that information. Which again, what if they made a mistake and now your face is in there? And now you're, maybe you didn't do anything wrong, and now you might be questioned. That's one of my concerns I would have. Anyways, and it's also said here. Oh, so once this, and so now this new information, this database is going to give everybody a universal control number, or UCN. And so even if you've never been arrested, if your employer requires you to submit a photo as part of your background check, your face and other information has the potential of being searched. All right. Well, anyways, the article goes on to say the FBI predicts that by 2015, the database holding these images will include 4.3 million images taken from non-criminal purposes. And so in this report, it says where they're going to get these images from. It says 46 million of the images are going to come from criminal images. 4.3, it doesn't say exactly where these criminal images are coming from, but that's what it says. 4.3 million will be civil images. 215,000 images will be from the Repository of Individuals of Special Concern, or the RISC. 750,000 images from the Special Population Cognizant, the SPC category. 215,000 images from new repositories, which is very vague. And then there's many states that are already participating in this program to some degree. Not all of them in the United States, but I think up to 35 states in some degree are entertaining the idea of participating. Apparently states have the right not to. So if that's something that, it's being voted on or something like that, that might be something you want to get into and talk to your congressmen or your lawmakers, or whoever's involved. Anyways, let's see here, and I'll have a picture up here, and I'll have one in the of the states that I got off the Gizmodo, or if that's where it came from. I don't know where this article came from. I'll put that up in the show notes to show you what states were participating. Anyways, right now we've already kind of seen a little bit of this happening in Facebook, at least the way, if I'm remembering this correctly, where you would download pictures into Facebook because you want to share them, right? And if your download contains, because it'll ask you to tag people, right? Like, oh, do you want to let them know that you uploaded pictures of them? Well, the facial recognition that they have in there will literally box out the faces, and if they don't know what face it is or who it is, they can't automatically add a name for you. But they'll ask you on the faces that they do recognize, like, hey, do you want to tag Joe Evans on this? Because they're in your picture and they know that. So they do it out of convenience, but at the same time, it's a little creepy. It's just, maybe people like that. For me, and that's not something I enjoy to have them kind of know. It's all anytime we put information out there, it's out there, and you can delete it. But there's always somewhere it's archived somewhere, right? There's some residue of information out there, even if you think you delete everything. So that was that. Now the final thing I have for you is something that I actually someone told me about, and I ended up downloading it because it's a tool in the toolbox, a little tech tool. So when you even with your reports, you want to turn everything into a PDF. You don't want people, if you submit a report to a client and you send it digitally to them, you want to be able to send it to them in a PDF. You don't want to send them into just a Word document. You want to make it look professional, and you want it to be unchangeable. You don't want them to be able to go in there and change anything to your final report, or if you submit any kind of evidence, you don't want it to be altered. So you protect it. You protect it with a PDF. They can't alter it, and sometimes it's difficult or to do. People don't know where to get the software. Don't know what to trust. But there's this program from PDF 995 at pdf995.com. It allows you to turn anything, a picture or a document. Well, you can do it on Word. You don't really need it for a document. But let's say you maybe pulled a picture off of something, or maybe you downloaded something that wasn't a PDF. You can turn it into a PDF and then include it into your, reports or whatever, into your evidence or whatever you want to call it, to your client. And then they can't mess with it, and it looks professional. And so, again, that's pdf995.com. Essentially what they do is they kind of, they do something weird to trick the system in your computer to where, and it's not a bad trick, it's just how they do it. So I'll take an image, and I'll go to print it, and it'll ask you, how do you want to print this? And usually you pick your printer, right? The printer it goes to, but it gives you an option to pick PDF 995. You pick it on there, and it turns your image or whatever you're trying to print into a PDF. You save it to your desktop or whatever folder, and now it's protected. So that is your tip of the week for cool stuff. if you guys have a tip you guys want to share that I can share on here, because, I'll be lucky. I'm surprised I've had this much content for you guys. So I don't always actively search for this stuff. I search for news articles and gadgets and things like that. But when it comes to tips and tools and stuff, I am complacent. What I'm using works. I just use it. And so luckily a lot of people, over the years have come to me and said, oh, you shouldn't be using that. You should use this. And so I'll take a look at it. And if it's worth mentioning, I mention. So anyways, that's just one more thing for your toolbox. If you guys want to check that out, if you've been looking for a way to do that and didn't know what program to trust, and that's free, by the way, but I think it's ad supported as well. I was just messing with it before I did the podcast, and as I was using it, it gives you the options like, hey, do you still want to use the free version, or and basically they're trying to sell you. They're trying to upsell you more, but who cares? It's free, right? And let's see here. I think that's going to wrap up Tech Tuesday for today. I just want to thank you guys for tuning in. I thank you guys for your constant support and emails and, checking out the videos as we speak. I posted what we got here? I posted a review of the Targus TG-5060 TR tripod. If you guys want to check out that video, it's up. And the official written review is up as well. And I think that is, let me check that out here as I'm talking to you. That would be, I like to number my significant articles that aren't just like, hey, what's up? So it will be article 83. And search, I probably could just search 83 and you'll come up with it. Right now it's on the front page of the Pride Investigator Advice blog, so you won't have any problems finding it. And that's about it. So let me get you out of here with some final I love technology.
Yes, I love technology, but not as much as you see. But I still love technology.
Thank you again for our sponsor, Investigator Marketing and investigatormarketing.com. And that's about it, guys. Thank you for checking in, and listen up for the next video, the next blog, the next podcast. I'm sure it's coming up soon. Later.